Hi, everyone. My name is Tracy, your host of Healing Starts With You, an Astrology and Healing Podcast. So today I'm going to talk about money patterns in relationships. This is probably the number one question that I always get in astrology is about, tell me about my relationship, tell me about my money, etc., etc. So we're going to talk about money patterns, and I'm going to give you an example in my life so that you know what that money pattern is. So from the time I was young, I always met someone that had money issues. Okay. Now, and it was very, very strong, and I couldn't figure out where it was coming from. So I would meet someone, and at first it would start out really good. And then, it was at the point where they were constantly spending and spending and spending. And I'd be working and working, working constantly to bring that money back in. And I couldn't figure out what was happening. Like, I would work like long hours on the weekends and, 100-hour weeks, and the money would still be gone. Okay. Then let that person go, meet someone else, same kind of money pattern. At first it seemed okay. And then later on, finding out that they were spending money constantly and I was working, working, working to bring that money in. And then I kind of noticed, once you become aware, so I kind of noticed this was like, okay, something is happening here. And I became aware of it, right? And then when I look back into my astrology chart, into my dad's astrology chart, I found out this was a money pattern stemming from his side of the family, okay? Because a lot of times we end up finding someone that is very similar to our parents, okay? So because I have a father wound, I was finding someone similar to him, okay? Now, this is what happens a lot with us, especially when we find relationships. We kind of try to find someone that is similar to our mom or our dad, right? So this money pattern was very, very strong. And once I found that pattern of why I was always in a relationship with someone that was always spending all the money while I was working hard to bring in the money. Okay. And that stems, so on my father's side, his mom and dad, so his dad was every day he was spending money constantly. He would go and on those shopping channels and spend and spend and spend. And then my grandma would work nonstop just to pay for everything. And so that was a big money pattern. And once I figured it out, once I saw it in my chart, once I realized what was happening, I flipped it. And how you do that is you have to become aware of the pattern. Okay. And once you become aware, the healing begins. But it has to start with you because a lot of times we have a fear of change. Sometimes we don't even realize this money pattern is actually happening in our life because we're so unaware of it, right? But once you see the pattern, it's about healing it. Okay. And this is what I do as the master astrologist for Your $1,000,000 Life by Steph Mahoney is I find those patterns. I've been finding these patterns for years and years and years since the time I was very small. And once you find it, just like karmic loops and limited beliefs, this is what I do for Steph's program, Your $1,000,000 Life. So if you want to know more of what this program entails, you can go to stephmahoney.com and all the info is there. So let me know if you have a money problem in your life. Thank you.